Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Shane Hinton with your updates for Sunday afternoon as we head into an evening with very cold conditions across central Texas. In fact, we do already have a winter weather advisory in effect for the entire KVUE viewing area. Now, starting at 6 o'clock this evening, we will have a hard freeze warning and a wind chill advisory that's going to begin. I'll have additional details on that in just a moment. And then also, as we head into the evening hours through tomorrow morning, we are going to be monitoring the potential for freezing rain or drizzle. It's going to be very scattered in nature. So we're going to be talking about the latest with the forecast models and potential impacts. Winter weather alerts across the state. You can see there's quite a few, but let's focus in on the ones that are going to be here in central Texas. So the areas that you're seeing shaded in right now indicating that winter weather advisory. It's already been in effect. It's actually started in effect a little bit earlier than scheduled because we were getting some light reports of freezing rain or drizzle. No accumulation from it, but that's why the National Weather Service decided to just go ahead and start the winter weather advisory a little bit ahead of schedule. Ice accumulation up to 1/10 of an inch is what the models are hinting at this point, okay? So we're not looking at major travel impacts, but we could see some minor impacts. So now let's head over to the wind chill advisory. You can see this includes all of our counties except Mason County. Now, I don't want you to be fooled here. If you are out in Mason County, it's still going to be dangerously cold, okay? Wind chills tonight into tomorrow morning could be as low as 5 degrees. Now, we see even colder wind chill values a little bit later on in the forecast. I believe that we could maybe even see a wind chill warning put into effect. Freeze warning. This is going to be a hard freeze warning. You can see it includes everyone except Milam and Mason counties. Overnight lows tonight are going to drop into the teens and lower 20s, and that's not even the coldest air that we are expecting. Now, you'll notice that this hard freeze warning lasts all the way until 10 o'clock Wednesday morning, okay? So we are looking at multiple nights of hard freezes. What are we currently tracking as of just before 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Temperatures in the mid to upper 20s for the most part in Travis County. Look across the central Texas region. It is a cold one. 20 degrees out in Mason, 24 in Blanco, and just shy of 30 degrees in LaGrange. All of us are sitting below freezing. That cold front has pushed through the area. It's continuing to push out into the Gulf of Mexico. And as you can see, it's actually it's sitting in the teens in Dallas and in the upper panhandle. Zoom out even further. You can see all that Arctic air built up just to the north of us. An area of high pressure is going to slowly start to move in, and that's what's going to keep us on the bitter cold side for the next several days. In regard to the radar, you can see a little bit of light activity up there, mostly to our north and east. I'm not really tracking a lot to talk about right here locally in central Texas, at least not yet. Let's take a look at the future cast together as we head into the early evening. Well, we start to see a little bit of those shades of pink popping up. That's indicating some freezing rain, maybe even a little bit of sleet mixed in there. It's the freezing rain that we're going to be more concerned about, though. As we head into the overnight hours, it grows a little bit more scattered. We're talking very cold conditions in the teens and 20s. As we look forward to tomorrow morning, this is going to be about the time that maybe you're heading out to work. You'll notice that we could still be dealing with some scattered light frozen precipitation. Once again, freezing rain, drizzle going to be the main concerns we're looking at here. As we make our way toward the midday hours, that activity starts to push out towards the east, and then we're going to be left with dry and cold conditions. I do not expect us to get above freezing for tomorrow in Austin, and especially out in the hill country. So overnight tonight, expect teens and lower 20s. You need to continue to protect the 4 Ps. That includes your people, your pets, your pipes, and your plants, okay? In fact, you're going to need to continue to really follow that mantra throughout the next several days, at least through the first half of the week. Let's take a look at the future wind chill. This is what it will feel like when you factor in the winds and the bitter cold air. By Sunday at 7 o'clock in the evening, feeling like it's in the single digits and the lower teens. As we leap forward into Monday morning, it could feel like it's even closer to the single digits. That is why we'll have that wind chill advisory in effect. And as we go throughout the day, it's only going to feel like it's in the 20s. Leap forward into Tuesday morning. Well, look at this. It feels even colder. In fact, I think our coldest temperatures are going to be Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning. On the thermometer, it very well could be Wednesday morning when we see our coldest air of the season thus far, with some areas maybe even feeling like they are below zero. That's going to favor areas along and west of I-35. Let's take a look at a couple of the ice accumulation forecast models. This is one of our high-res models. It's been a little back and forth throughout the past couple of hours, indicating anywhere from a few hundredths of an inch to closer to 1/10 of an inch. The area with the darker pink there would be maybe some isolated spots that get above 1/10 of an inch. Keep in mind that is very isolated based off of some of the forecast models. Now I kind of want to show you one that's a little bit more aggressive with some totals that could be a little bit over 1/10 of an inch. This would be the NAM model. I don't want you to get too frightened by this, okay? We're still talking just over 1/10 of an inch for the I-35 corridor and areas east. This is where the National Weather Service said we would have the highest likelihood of any accumulation, but overall the impacts will still be minor. Just to give you some perspective here, okay? Anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch is when we see cars coated, some icy bridges. I do think that we'll have to keep our eyes out on those bridges and overpasses, highly elevated surfaces. We're not talking trees sagging and breaking. That's over 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, okay? That's what we were seeing with the last ice storm that we had in early 2023. So that's the good news for you in regard to ice accumulation at this point, but keep in mind we are going to have to monitor it very closely in case we get any changes. Now, as we take a look at the 3-day forecast, you'll notice that we have some morning freezing rain that's going to be possible for Monday. This is going to be the first half of the day. I think our highs will kind of top out in the lower 30s. As we make our way into Tuesday, that's where we could maybe see some of us getting over that freezing threshold of 32 degrees. However, it will be just barely above freezing. And if so, maybe only for a couple of hours. So any ice that were to accumulate really wouldn't have a lot of time to melt just based off temperatures, but with winds and the sunshine, we should be able to get a majority, if not a good chunk, of any accumulation to have moved out of here. Now, keep in mind, the graphic kind of glitching a little bit here, but on Wednesday, we are expecting temperatures in the afternoon to get into the mid-40s. But once again, our coldest conditions of the season are going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday morning, so I want you to go ahead and continue to be prepared for that. So once again, just kind of summarizing things here, we are tracking that dangerously cold air and conditions for the next several days. We will continue to monitor all updates and make sure you're keeping posted basically on air, online, on KVUE Plus. You can also download the KVUE News app. It's absolutely free, and then we'll send you any winter weather alerts as they are issued, because we still have a couple of warnings that could be issued in regards to the cold temperatures. Not as much concerned with the ice accumulation, but like I said, we'll keep our eyes on it. Until then, we hope everyone has a great day. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll continue to keep things posted for you.